Hello, aspirants. Welcome to the session. In this session, I'll be discussing few techniques where you can solve CSE prelims questions, even if you have little knowledge or where you have sufficient knowledge, but you're finding it difficult to solve such questions. As an example, I have taken 2022 prelims questions. Before that, myself, Manoj, and about me, I have cleared 4 UPSC CSE prelims, including 3 Indian Forest Service cutoff. These are my marks: 2016, 147, 2017, 114, 2018, 121, and 2020, 117. Now, before jumping into the discussion, I want to say a sort of caution. In market, there are hundreds of elimination techniques and their videos on YouTube also. So please don't trust them blindly. And those techniques are no longer valid now. The way UPSC has been framing the questions, it is very, very important for you to build your own logic. How to build your own logic? Now, these techniques would be applicable only for those who have completed basic syllabus at least once, like NCERTs and standard books, once or greater than once, and they have solved previous year's questions, at least last 10 to 15 years. Even there is sufficient amount of time even now. If you have not solved previous year's questions, leave everything aside and solve at least 20 to 15 years questions now. And also, if you have time, some good test series. Okay. Now, let's start the discussion with the first question. See this question. First question is, it seems as a very big question or lengthy question. There are 5 statements that are about Vietnam. Now, whenever you come across any question with respect to prelims, first identify those statements which are completely true, 100% true or 100% false. That would be easy for your elimination of selection of suitable code. Now, in this question, let's see statement 1. Vietnam has been one of the fastest growing economies in the world in recent years. So maybe or may not be, I'm not sure. Now come to fourth option. It is saying that fastest growing economies. And fourth option is saying that because of the low labor cost and the stable exchange rate, it attracted global manufacturers. Now, how can a country become fastest growing economy? One is either it should have strong manufacturing base or a good service sector like in India. Now, see statement 1 and statement 4, they seems interlinked. On one hand, he's saying that Vietnam is the fastest growing economy. On the other hand, he's saying that it has good it has attracted global manufacturers because of low labor cost. So logically, these two statements are interlinked. We call such statements as mutually inclusive statements. When one statement is correct, other statement is also correct. When one statement is wrong, other statement should be wrong. Not may be wrong, should be wrong. So UPSC is framing of one questions is, this is one way of framing questions, mutually inclusive statements. And UPSC is giving such type of statements, especially with respect to SNT. And they have shifted to economy also. So see where 1 and 4 go together in this option. So see, even if you have no knowledge about with respect to Vietnam, you could have solved your answer just from your basic understanding of your economy and current affairs. Now, second statement. In the Government of India Act of 1990, the functions of provincial government were divided into reserved and transferred subjects. Now, everyone knows. Those who have read Lakshmikant, everyone knows this statement. However, what he has asked is, which of the following were treated as reserved subjects? So, reserved subjects, what are the things that are mentioned in reserved subjects? Now, this makes the question tricky. But once you apply the logic which I would be discussing, this would be very easy. Now, you know that British government, the major objective of British government is to enrich themselves by looting India. So, for a country like as diverse as India, as big as India, centralization of powers is very important. It means powers, you should not share powers with other organs. Or the top functionaries, they should have maximum amount of powers so that they can rule country ruthlessly. So now see which powers ensure that such a centralization of powers will lead. Administration of justice, local self-government, land revenue, and police. See fourth statement, police. Once you keep police under control, it will lead to law and order is also under your control, and everything would be come under your control. So obviously, no government want to share that power with This transferred subjects is part of provincial governments. So obviously this will go into reserved subject. Now see statement 2, local self-government. Local self-government means you can give some sort of power to provinces also without giving such the funds or some other suitable powers. So obviously local self-government doesn't make much sense. Government, especially in 1919, what British they said in 1909, they wanted to introduce sort of local self-governance. This Montagu Chelmsford 1919 reform says that they want to introduce local self-governments, responsible government. So on the one side, British wanted to show that they are introducing some sort of reforms, but on the other hand, they wanted to maintain iron fist with respect to centralization of power. So obviously, similarly, administration of justice. This is also very important to ensure that there is a centralization of power. Now, 1 and 4 goes with respect to reserved, and local self-government goes with transferred subjects. So using your common sense and your understanding of British rule, colonial rule, easily you could solve this question. So answer is, now if you remove 2, 1, 3, and 4. Very easy way of solving the question. Next, in India, credit rating agencies are regulated by RBI. The rating agency, popularly known as ICRA, is a public limited company. Brickwork Ratings is an Indian credit rating agency. So statement 2 and 3 are purely factual. Many of us may not know the statement. No, the statement 1. Now, most of you would have read about credit rating agencies. So credit rating agency is an agency which gives a credit risk on the basis of risk assessment of a debtor. They assess the risk. It means, say, person A is there, whether he can repay the debt or not. On the basis of some factors, they give some score to him. So that using that score, if A goes to some bank, banks decide using that score whether they need to lend or not. This is the basic of credit rating agency. Most of us would have read in a basics. And why do generally companies, credit rating agencies used by companies? Why do companies want credit rating? Because to raise funds. How do they raise funds? By issuing bonds, debentures, etc. Now these instruments are capital market instruments. Now who is the regulator of capital market? SEBI. So once you interlink the topic, this question would be easy. Now what he has said, it is RBI. This statement is wrong. So once you remove 1, you are left with 2 and 3. So on the face of it, this question is very difficult. But once you apply this logic, applying see, everyone would be having this knowledge. They know credit rating agency and regulator is SEBI. But application of the knowledge is very important. So whenever you are solving any test question or previous year's question, apply the knowledge in this way. Now let's see another question. Which one of the following best describes the term greenwashing? So greenwashing, he has given some 4 statements. So this type of questions are being recently asked by UPSC. Even 2020, 2021, they have asked respective questions with respect to such. They are giving some term in the environment and asking which of the following best defines the term, especially in environment. So whenever in environment you come across a new term, just go and Google it and write in your notebook. Now coming back to this question, greenwashing. See, I don't have any knowledge about greenwashing, but everyone would have heard about the term whitewashing. Whitewashing in the sense you conceal something. The information you are having, you conceal. You whitewash everything. So it means something, it had, so washing here, the term washing, it means it has to do something with respect to concealment or saying something false. Something that is not there, you are saying that as true. So now green, the term green, it means it is related to environment. Now see, which is the closest option using these 2 statements, 2 words, environment and something related that is false, conveying a false impression that companies' products are environmental friendly and environmentally sound. So very easy, right? Oh, this is the way you need to apply with respect to such questions, like where UPSC give a term and ask you to which of the following best defines that term. And UPSC of late is asking in environmental portion. Now another question, with reference to the Bank's Board Bureau, which of the following statements are correct? The governor of RBI is the chairman of Bank's Board Bureau. Bank BBB recommends the selection of heads for public sector banks. Bank's Board Bureau helps the public sector banks in developing strategies and capital raising plans. Now see statement 1. The governor of RBI is the bank chairman of Banks Board Bureau. Now, everyone would have read about Banks Board Bureau in their static portion. Basic books, in every basic book, this is their Bank Board Bureau. But some might get confused in seeing the statement 1. Now remember that what was the major objective in bringing Banks Board Bureau? Such a reform was necessitated because to reduce conflict of interest and transparency in appointments and functioning of banks, because in majority of the banks, government is the largest stakeholder. Now think that if governor of RBI is the chairman of Banks Board Bureau, does that go again? Isn't that go against the basic reforms why Banks Board Bureau was bought? It goes against the basic reason why this Banks Board Bureau was bought. Isn't that true? Because it again leads to conflict of interest. Again, it may lead to interference of government. So statement 1, statement 1 is wrong. Once you remove statement 1, you are left with 2 and 3. Again, just the basic knowledge and application of this basic knowledge helps you to solve this question. Next, with reference to Indian laws about wildlife protection, consider the following statements. Wild animals are the sole property of the government. Where a wild animal is declared protected, such animal is entitled for equal protection, whether it is found in the protected areas or outside. Apprehension of a protected wild animal becoming a danger to human life is sufficient ground for capture or killing. Remember, before starting the discussion, I said, first identify those statements which are completely true or completely false. Now, of these three, see second statement. When a wild animal is declared protected, it is protected whether it is in protected area or outside. Obviously, right? If you say, suppose you are saying tiger is protected as protected animal, it will be protected whether it is in tiger reserve or outside tiger reserve. Also, it is also protected. Otherwise, it goes against the basic reason why such an animal being declared as protected. So second statement is 100% correct. Now, 1 and 2, we are left with 1 and 2 and 2 only. Once you remove this. Now see statement 1. Wild animals are the sole property of the government. Everyone would have read about Wildlife Protection Act. And in that, we all know that there are 6 schedules. And of these schedules, except one schedule, first 4 schedules, we deal with protection of animals. And moreover, there is ban on hunting in India. So using all this knowledge, does statement 1 make sense or not? Obviously, statement 1 makes sense. Even though we are not 100% sure, we can attempt this question instead of leaving the question. So statement, if you think that statement 1 is true using this knowledge, answer is 1 and 2. Next, in India, which one of the following compiles information on industrial disputes, closures, retrenchments, and layoffs in factories employing workers? CSO, Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Labor Bureau, National Technical Information System, Manpower. So it is related to industrial sector, and that too about workers. So answer is, who will do? Labor. So it is dealing with labor rights, labor disputes. So which is the closest organization that comes here? Labor Bureau. So this is very easy question. Even then, many people has this habit of reading between the lines. So don't read between the lines. Any UPSC question, don't read between the lines. If UPSC wants to give a question as an easy thing, don't make yourself that question tougher. I hope this video was helpful to you, and please follow the techniques that I have given in this video. And in coming videos, I will be discussing few such questions, not just in 2022, in previous year's questions also. If you find this video helpful, please share it among your friends. Thank you.